we are. Okay, awesome. Well, let's kick this off. I think we should be good. We're a few minutes in now, so I want to make sure we get rocking. I think. Well, hold on. Is there somebody here who would love to step up and facilitate this call? Somewhat last minute. JB, is that you coughing because you want to facilitate this call? Was that your volunteer?
Oh, no, I didn't even know my mic was on. I'm so sorry.
Well, maybe this is your chance. All right. Well, in lieu of that, I will just go ahead and run it so that we don't have a lot of flopping around. Agenda-wise, I'm going to... If everyone could open up the notes page, you can see a lot of cool shout-outs, some awesome graphics and videos. I particularly like the POAP for the sushi call. That was awesome. Can we get the... is Surf on here?
Yeah, okay, so the POAP for today is umaproject.org, all lowercase. Just go ahead and message the bot, guys.
Thank you, Fruity.
No, it doesn't look like Surf is here.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's what I was asking for. So, Fruity covered it. Cool. Lots of awesome shout outs. Then I'm down here at the discussion section. Yeah, would somebody like to maybe stand up and talk about these discussion sections so that it's not just me talking the whole time? Maybe Bits and Brews or Apollo?
Test. Oh, hey, I'm here. Sorry.
You're here. You made it. Apollo, where are you at, man? Oh, my video's on. Why is that happening?
I don't know.
I'm here, but I don't think I have enough knowledge to speak on anything since I've been gone for over a month and I'm still trying to get caught up in the swing of things.
Sure, no worries. How about Bits and Brews? What do you think? You want to give it a shot?
Sure. I also don't know if I have a ton of context, but yeah, I'll go through it.
Cool.
So it looks like the university review group, they finished the rest of Unit 5, and there's just a couple of weeks left until the class ends. How many units was in that class?
I think like 8 or 9.
Okay, so you guys are well over halfway done then. That's awesome. Also, 50 POAPs were handed out for last week's community call. That's awesome. We had a lot of people here last week. Let's see. Deadcoin proposes we have a separate call to strictly go over campaigns. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to help channel the concentrated chaos that can be asynchronous Discord communication. There will be another call this Friday on the 23rd with Bankless and Uma again, with Vari and Chandler. Let's see, agenda will be going over the learning curve for DeFi and UMA in particular, learning from Bankless DAO, and their guild system, and then principles behind treasury management and community control. Sounds like more good stuff for focusing our efforts. Henry, it looks like, made a roles document for the content creation team and instructed folks interested in doing some of this content strategy stuff to check out the doc. And there's a link in the Notion notes page. And they're trying to keep the calendar page up to date, even though there's a lot of stuff happening, so it's probably quite a challenge to keep that up to date with everything going on. And then it looks like the next big topic is going to be governance and roles.
Awesome. Thank you for covering that. I wanted to check in with Britt here because Britt is going to showcase the new Notion page that we have. But Britt, I want to check in with you. Like, how much of that is about roles, or do you want to do that right now, or do you want to go over the roles stuff right now?
I kind of thought I would actually check in and see what the audience would prefer. We can like do our discussion bit first and then take a peek at Notion, or if just whatever's going to get the best engagement. I don't think it matters too much one way or another because they kind of tie in. So there's no like natural first best first.
Mhm. Well, someone can come up with another opinion if they want, but my opinion is probably to do the screen share first and demonstrate the Notion board because A, it's the thing I really want to make sure that we cover, and B, yeah, it would mean that we just make sure that we don't run out of time or something. But if
Sure.
someone else has an opinion otherwise, speak up. And
Now we can do the screen share first. I think that sounds good.
cool. Awesome. So, is there any other context that we need to provide, Britt, or do we want to just jump right in?
I think we can jump right in. I think so the link that you posted in the lair was referring back to the old Notion page, right? I believe.
Yes. Yep.
So that will be the last time that we use that link, and then going forward, all of that will be available on this new one. But that was the only thing that I wanted to touch on with regards to like making that transition. We're just
Okay.
gonna do a hard snap over to this new one. So I am happy to share my screen. Let's see. There we go. Are we here? Can y'all see it?
Just okay. So I
Yeah.
had to click up on SuperUMAN HQ and then watch screen in order to view it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Can anyone else not see it? I just want to make sure everyone's following along. Give people a minute to find it here. Well, just let us know if you're unable to connect to view.
Okay. Yeah, shall I go ahead and start?
Yeah, I can see.
Cool. So this is like the landing page, what you see when you first get here, and it's kind of organized into a few different categories. This top red section is just like general SuperUMAN stuff. So it includes all of the resources that we want to have available, and we'll build this out some more as we gather like more and different kinds of resources. I think education might become its own section at one point, but for now it's right here. This is our like who is a SuperUMAN article. For new folks, we want to kind of like push them here first so they at least know. Here's our cards and our roles, which I'll come back to. But then as you scroll down, this purple section is our outreach team, which is like our UMA ambassadors that we've been talking about. Brief intro, kind of a walkthrough about like integrations, and this is where we'll be doing just like brainstorming, generating ideas, stuff like that. And then once we have something solid, we'll move it to the lead pipeline. I'll come back to that.
Britt,
Yeah.
brainstorming, I wouldn't actually know what to go there with. Like, I typically imagine we do most of that here in Discord. Is there something else that would kind of go there that doesn't happen on Discord?
We can do kind of both, and I think it just Notion is a good place to document things. So if you have like a use case but you don't know which DAO to use it for, or if you have a DAO but maybe not sure, like we don't have a good previous example of that kind of DAO using something, you can come like start a thought on this page.
Got it. Yep,
This
that
might
makes sense.
become something we don't use. I don't know, but it just was kind of a resource that I wanted to put out there. It also includes a link down here of like potential DAOs, and that takes you to this page, which has like a little embedded link of Deep DAO, so you can see
Okay.
their ranking of DAOs. So if people just need like inspiration, basically,
Okay. Yeah.
they can
Okay.
come here.
Nice. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you want to have an idea, but like you want it to have a little more structure than just in Discord. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, just like for people, I mean, because we're encouraging everyone to sign up as an ambassador, and so if you just don't really like know what that's all about, I would encourage you to sort of like explore around in ideas, and then also check out the lead pipeline. I just want to finish quick overview on this homepage. Sorry.
I just was saying sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
Oh no, that's okay. Operations team is this yellow section, and then all of their like hubs for communication are here, although they will tinker around in some of the other areas as well. But just kind of for now, kind of like if you're on the operations team, this will be sort of where you come to. And then the content team works down here. And this is sort of their management, and then where they will sort of like store their files and such. So those are the three different teams, and then above is the general stuff. So I think most importantly are the SuperUMAN cards.
Nice.
Lots of good participation here so far. Some of you might notice that your card looks like the default, and that's because I went in and added a template. I guess I can use myself as an example here. So essentially, when you open it, it looks like this. You can also open it as a full page roles. When you go and create your card, you want to come in here, and if you just click on this, you can scroll through and click on whichever one or ones tickle your fancy. Like if I do ambassador, and then I click out of here, it'll assign me that role. And at this point, it kind of is just like sign up for whatever sounds good to you that you want to participate in. So you can take on multiple roles if you think you have the time to do that. This communities involved in field, there is a long list, or you can like type your own if there's one on there that's not already represented.
Now I see why my wife hates crypto. That was one of the roles.
Yes, there are communities. Yeah. 'Cause somebody put that. I'm not sure. Skills, kind of same thing, just free form type whatever you're good at. That you want to advertise. This is kind of like stealing from that SuperUMAN powers that we had on that one doc. So just so you can like let people know what you're available to help with, what your strengths are. This is so we can find you on Discord. Link to your Twitter if you want to. Don't have to. Email. I don't know yet if this is mandatory for this website, just based on like the weird permissions, or if this is optional, but it is really helpful with getting in touch with you. Especially if you're looking to take on like a leadership position or something like that, I would encourage you to make sure that you put your email there. And then owned leads, this will be filled in if you take a lead role on any of our lead pipelines. For example, in a little while, took on Shapeshift. So you can see here, Shapeshift shows up. Also, I signed him ambassador. So if I go and click on this, it'll take me to the lead card for Shapeshift. So this is in our lead pipeline, and this is all the details on this lead that in a little while is responsible for.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so everything should, in theory, be linked. And kind of going back to mine as an example, down here, I'll let Vari maybe touch a little bit more on this, but this is kind of our like keeping track of what you're doing section. So like there are 10 weeks between now and when UDAO expires. So we broke it down into 10 weeks, and this is like where you can go to take notes. When you open it the first time, it'll look like this. I would encourage you to click on this right here. That's the template that I have created, where you can like keep track of new tasks and notes for those tasks, like which team it's a part of, the status of it. You can share a link if you want to. And then this is sort of like ongoing projects and tasks, but basically this is like where you keep track of your notes, basically. So that is what this section will look like. And everybody should have one of those down here on the cards as well. So kind of just an overall thing about Notion. If you're on a page like this and you want to add something new, you can either just click like this new over here, and that will kind of like give you a blank thing that's not very helpful, but it gives you options down here to do like empty page. And then if something else appears, that's a template that we've created. So typically I would recommend just clicking on the template to preload before you start doing any work. But I guess not strictly required. It just is helpful to do it that way. So that is kind of the cards section. Does anybody have questions on this bit?
What's the process people need to use to get permission to add an edit? I think we do need to add their email, right?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. That adds like an extra layer of permissions somewhere somehow. So I don't know the logistics on that. But for now, the people who have had the most success seem to be the ones who have shared their email with us. So I would recommend that as a starting point
I mean,
while we investigate.
okay. I mean, I think that was kind of the idea.
Okay.
Was that we could tag people and it would be connected to them, like we could actually tag them.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
that
not
makes sense.
saying, yeah, I'm not saying that we require out of a need for someone's email. It's just literally so that we can have accounts on Notion instead of otherwise people make edits and we can't see who's editing things and we can't like keep track of things. I think that was part of the purpose. Actually, I think Vari is across this as well. Vari, is that your understanding that we need people's emails for them to edit cards? Vari, you unmuted, but I can't hear anything. Oh, I still can't hear you.
I bet you it's that push to talk thing wreaking havoc.
You might need to leave and
Very
rejoin.
well could
Yeah,
be.
she's doing that right now.
I had to change a setting in my actual account, or like my Discord account. So she might have to do the same thing.
How did you do it, Brett?
Let me see. I went to
Go to
User settings.
Oh yeah, you're there. Voice and video, and it should
Yeah.
be right there in the middle. Input mode.
yeah. It was automatically on push to talk, so I had to push it on like voice activity, and then it was okay after that.
I still can't hear you, Vari. But there might be some button you can push to talk.
Maybe.
Well, why don't you carry on, Britt, while she tries to sort that.
Okay. So while she works on that real quick, we'll assume that we need your email address, but does anybody else have questions on like how to come in here and set up a card? Because this is kind of like step one, where we sort of like plug you in and link you to everything else on this Notion page.
Yeah, I have a question real quick. Like, I still don't seem to be able to change my role on my card. I can change everything else, but not my role.
Is that you, Bits and Brews? I can't really tell without like switching
Yeah.
over. Okay. I went in and ahead and assigned you ambassador. I'm not.
Yes. So if I click on that field and I type in like I don't know, like content or something, it doesn't pop up with anything else for me. Like it's just blank. So
Same with me.
So right here, like that doesn't happen for you, like content strategist.
correct, that does not happen.
Okay.
But I don't know if I shared my email with you guys yet, so maybe if I do that, then maybe it'll mystically fix it. I don't know.
It's possible. Some of the folks who had their email shared with us kind of stumbled upon the ability to like unlock. Like right now, you can see up here it says locked. And we have it locked to prevent accidental editing. So if somebody unlocked it, that means anybody can change anything. And so you might have happened, or some people might have like stumbled across it while it was unlocked. And that might be one of the key. That might be like one of the key hurdles. So if you want to shoot us your email, and then we can give it another try.
Yeah, I actually put it on my card, so you can just pull it off of there if you want.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, then just like general disclaimer for folks who have a card here but who are having a hard time, make sure you've sent us your email, and we can see if it's just a permissions thing or if there are something going on.
Okay,
But
thanks.
yep, thank you. Anybody else have any other things?
I was gonna say I shared my email, but it's still doing that same thing as was just said. Like nothing shows up under roles. I'm not very worried, but
Oh, is that Vari?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
we can hear you.
I'm having the same issue as well.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Well, in terms of the email and the permissions, as I understand it, you should be able to add a card without having your email actually entered into the system. Having your email entered into the system means that you can be tagged in certain things, so things can be linked backwards and forwards. Is that helpful?
It is, except for some people are still having kind of problems with some of the properties on the cards. If you are one of those people, I see Apollo's doing it right now. Apollo, after you're done, will you let me know if you have any like a hard time adding the ambassador role?
Yeah, I'll let you know if I have any issues.
Okay, cool.
There does seem to be some kind of issue with DNS settings. There's a front-end engineer kind of looking at it just now. It's causing problems with McAfee and a few others, possibly on the basis of ISP. Hopefully it should be sorted quite soon.
Okay. So pending some like technical difficulties, does the sort of like the process of setting up the card make sense to everyone?
Yes.
All right. I'll take the silence as a yes. For
Easy.
those who are having technical difficulties, do make sure to stay on us because we're gonna try and work on it. But I'm not 100% sure who isn't having issues. So just if we haven't gotten back to it in a moment, keep us on top of it. But this is starting point. So after you set up your card, and maybe you set up your card before you know anything about the roles, you can come back here. And Vari, this is open to everybody. They can see this, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Be able to see it but not edit.
Right. Okay. So you can come in here and take a look at like the different roles. We are, I think, still maybe a little bit in the work of building some of these out, like the details on here. But you should be able to click on each one, see who is associated with that role, although that's not true. There should be more people than that. So maybe that's a bug. I'll have to look at that. Anyways, but you can come on here and see like what each role's description is here. Sorry, was someone gonna speak? No? Okay. So just like get to know whichever ones are of interest to you and sign up for any and all that you think that you can take on. I encourage everyone to default sign up as an ambassador and then come check out this page and see what other teams you might want to be a part of. There is a big need in both content and operations. I'm hoping that those two teams really explode with activity. So I encourage all the participation that you have in you.
Can I give you some quick feedback right now, bro?
Yeah.
So it won't allow me to actual like enter the content or ambassador or.
So if you click on this right here, it doesn't let you do anything.
It will allow me to type, but once I type, the tag doesn't pop up or pre-populate like UMA does. Like what your screen is doing right now, that doesn't happen on my. Yeah, I don't get that when I start typing in my screen. So even if I typed in ambassador or content or script master, whatever the roles are, I don't get where I can actually select the tag.
Okay.
And then
We'll have to work on that. But it's good to know like more specifically what people are running into. So that might be a permissions thing and it might be just a weird.
It is possible that that is a limitation of the lack of email. If your email isn't registered in the system, you might not be able to put in the roles in there because it's linked in a database.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get that bit all sorted out by tomorrow because that is pretty important. But in the meantime, if people have like a desire to really dive in, you can let me know and I can assign you these roles, as well as like if there's a lead that you are really active on, I can assign you to that lead as well. So don't let that stop us, but we will look into it for sure. Okay, cool. So going back to the homepage, I think a lot of this is kind of like explore it as you will kind of stuff, not necessarily have to draw your attention to it. The one thing that everybody does have like a sort of a common interest in is the leads pipeline, since UDAO is like based on integrations. So if you haven't already, you'll want to come check this out. I think I don't know if we want to like talk campaign stuff right now or if we want to come back to it, but just to give like come back to it. Okay. So I maybe while you're listening in, just check out some of this. This is another one of those like I built a template. If you're afraid of templates, you can put your notes above the template, and I made room for that, but there is sort of like a lot of information that you can put in here that I would encourage people to put in here. And then like you'll see all the important stuff up here as it is filled in. So this is what stage it's in. This is the type of proposal that we have. This is your link to the UMA team. So they're kind of like your troubleshooting and like questions and coordination person. This is going to be you, whoever you are, when you take on a lead on this. This will be the date that we've input for like our raid, and that will populate on the community calendar, which is back on the homepage. This is a community contact to whoever you're speaking with from the other community. This would be like a link to somewhere in Discord or wherever most of that conversation is taking place. And then if this is like just so you can check out the protocol's website. So this is like the most important stuff, and then all the details are going to be down below. Any questions on that? Okay. Sounds good to know.
Zhao Lu, you have, I think, like TV on in the background. You can mute yourself. I will mute you though if you don't. Okay. Okay. That's awesome, Britt. I just want to first off say, like, this is really like clearly a lot of work went into this. I know that it was a multi-person effort, but it's like really represents a huge leap in the like organizational system of SuperUMANs. So yeah, good job. It looks amazing. I'm really excited to play with it and to I think it'll be like the thing that allows us to scale bigger and not just have like this layer which has just this overwhelming amount of like concurrent conversations and stuff. So yeah, that's really awesome. And
Agreed.
also want to acknowledge everyone who's already gone in and filled out a card. Like, thank you for that. That's like paving the way and setting a good example and showing us. Yeah, it's just cool. It's inspiring. Actually, I'm really happy to see that there was like 3 rows of people that have already done it. Is exciting. So yeah, all good things to say. To kind of start to experiment with it with campaigns like starting tomorrow, basically. Yeah, this yeah. So anyone else, any other feedback or observations from others? Would love to hear what other people might have to say.
I think that people like I could tell that a lot was put in. I appreciate whoever uh only thing I'm worried about is if we would have access to add if we don't have like have a difficulty adding goals to our current cards, will we be able to input like that down page that you had showed us earlier?
You're kind of cutting in and out, Apollo. Sorry, I was tried to follow, but I missed a big chunk of what you were saying.
Yeah, someone has their mic on background.
I don't know, Apollo. I'm not really hearing anyone else, but it is
I just muted him.
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to mute yourself. You have to go there and mute because I couldn't understand when Clayton was talking, so I went over there and just muted it myself because I couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Apollo, try one more time.
Okay, so I was just wondering if we would I wanted to say that I love this new organizational setup that you put your time and your energy into, and I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate your efforts. But will we be able to like add, the notes on like the out page if we add our roles on the or like will we be able to add like quick notes on leads project page or anything like that?
You should be able to. Yeah, you should have like full access to add any content. The only access that might be restricted would be like to change a template. And so that is kind of like the intended use of having the pages locked, is just so you don't have accidental edits, but you should still be able to like come in here, and if you want to, you know, like you should be able to come in here and do the same thing that I can do just now. So yes, you shouldn't have any restrictions on like adding notes or adding content to this page. Did that answer your question?
I just want to say, yeah, really good job on everyone who made this. This is going to be, yeah, very clutch for conquering projects. So bravo.
Awesome. I did forget to mention, and like now that I'm just hovering here, I want to make sure everybody's aware. This is going to be like where our notes for this call happen, and the ops team will be in charge of like keeping track of that. Fruity Cup does that now. I assume he's going to keep doing it because he's kicking butt. But just if you want to like add to it or anything, this is where you can find like that in the calendar and some like old
Yes,
content.
please add to it. Okay, I take a lot of time out of the week to do it, so please add to it, people.
Yeah, definitely do. And then this calendar, I think can like sync up with Discord as well. So this should be pretty up to date, especially if we have the operations team keeping on track of that. So hopefully, if you have have any questions about like events or anything, you should be able to come here and see like upcoming stuff. Like in here, you can see like community call, AMA, strategy planning for the content team, community call again. So this should be a good resource as well that people should be aware of. But that was my last spiel. So if anybody has any other questions, happy to answer. Otherwise, I will turn it over to whoever is speaking next.
I have a quick one. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Is that calendar able to add to your Google Calendar by any chance? Could I add it to my own personal Google Calendar to get the reminders?
That's a really good question. I don't know. But Henry would know, so I can get in touch with him and see if he has the answer to that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
My question was, there was a part earlier where you had shown like video files, audio files. Is that actually going to be kind of like a place that we're uploading content to?
Yes, my hope so the content team will be like making the bulk of the things at the request of other teams, like the operations team, as they have a need for like an educational resource, they'll ask the content team to make something, and they will keep all those like raw files in here. I don't think the like infrastructure has been necessarily set up yet for that, but yes, anything produced by the content team, you should be able to access down in this area down here.
And this just has like unlimited storage and like the place to store like important files?
I don't know about unlimited, but hopefully what they might do.
Test me, Britt.
Current, like,
Test me with the file
is.
size.
Sorry. But what he might do is like even link to a Google Drive or something within here. Like, I don't know. He might have like different storage locations for script files, but presumably, anybody should be able to come in here and find what they're looking for so that they can extract it and then put it where it needs to be.
Okay, sweet, thanks. And I was just kidding about the file size. Like video storage is like a huge problem. So I just figured like we should test that before we start dumping a bunch of video footage to that as a place to store it.
Yeah, I think this might ultimately end up being like links to storage locations, but this is definitely out of my area of expertise, so I will defer that question to Henry.
Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Britt. That was really good. Yeah. Vari, I wanted to check in with you. I know that you've done a lot of work on roles recently. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about additionally on this call?
Just really that we've set up a new structure. It's a bit experimental. It's still a work in progress. We're still finessing it. You can see that there's still some technical hitches around permissions that we're still to sort out. We have the ambassadors team. We put initial people in place just to give us a bit of a start. So EA Sports, supported by Chandler, is going to kind of coordinate the ambassadors. And JB Discord is going to support Henry with the content, and Hidden will support me in operations. We'd really encourage you to use your skills in whatever roles that you feel would be appropriate. And we'd really encourage everyone to sign up for the ambassador's role because, you know, ultimately the SuperUMANs are the ambassadors.
Thanks, Vari. And how about like the compensation side of things is experimental as well, and I expect that we'll iterate on it. But do you want to maybe explain like how that works a little bit?
It is experimental and it is a bit of work in progress. What we settled upon was kind of two metrics. One was about how much responsibility we're taking on, and one was around performance. So the performance scale is on a 1 to 4 level. We're kind of doing an analog version of the optimistic oracle here, where people self-assess their own performance, which is then kind of up for challenge within the community. If they feel that somebody's maybe misinterpreted or is a bit out of line with what other people are assessing their performance to be. In terms of the roles, we've got 3 levels, 4 level, which I urge to participate in. A lead role, which would be taking on very specific responsibilities for things, either for a particular protocol in an integration or for a particular ongoing task that needs done and needs overseen to keep things running smoothly, or perhaps for a large piece of content creation that needs a bit of coordinating. And then we also have a manager role, which is more about the kind of coordinating side of different ongoing tasks. We're going to suggest that people propose roles that need filled. Where to propose them, we've not quite determined, and then put people forward for them. So the range of compensation would, because there's 10 weeks left, it would be between 10 UDAO a week for someone in a support role performing, just a little bit in their spare time, right up to 120 UDAO a week for somebody that is coordinating across different bits and is performing really well.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I think that's an awesome starting point. I want to hear everyone's feedback though on it. Like maybe not right away. We have to kind of experiment with it. But to me, this is like the very first starting point of like us being able to transition to like a distributed DAO-ish kind of team where like people could have careers built on like participating in as a pseudonym in Discord, for an organization without having to do the normal hoops and everything else with a traditional job. So like, I think this is a cool experiment. I look forward to playing with it together. Awesome.
Do we want to call for questions at this point? We kind of presented it as like an opportunity to ask questions on roles specifically, which is why I dragged Vari here. So do we want to open that up and see kind of like generally what questions people have?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll just start calling on people because they get shy. Hey, Coach, do you have any questions?
Oh, good.
Oh, Bits and Brews. Let's hear it.
So previously, like a long time ago, relatively speaking, we had some folks helping out doing UMIP reviews, which is that was my main contribution that I was doing. With that kind of dying down as we get to the more general stuff, or rather the UMIPs that do come in are way more complex. I know that there was some talk about doing like project ideation. I guess how did that factor in? How does that role factor into going forward, I guess, this structure?
I suppose it would kind of come under the ambassadors in the kind of ideation stage and the brainstorming area that Brett showcased earlier on. But beyond integrations, UMA is a very large protocol. And we do have a number of products that are built on us that are not integrations, where people want to use the optimistic oracle or where they want to create bespoke synthetic products. The focus of the SuperUMANs is on, integration and on working with other DAOs. But at the same time, we still don't want to lose sight of the bigger picture and the immense power that UMA has across other areas.
Immense power.
What did Spider-Man say about immense power?
I think also it's kind of hard to find enough people to form a big team of like developer savvy folk, which is why we didn't incorporate it right away. But I think ultimately we will hopefully have more of a developer team within the SuperUMANs. We just don't have a ton of them as of yet.
I just want to remind people that the POAP code is umaproject.org, which is the website. So if you message the POAP bot, that is the code. All right. How about more questions on the roles?
I have no questions, and I'm definitely not shy when I do. But one thing I will add, like, I like it. It's great. It's simple. It seems pretty streamlined, and it's pretty clear that you guys threw a lot of thought into it, putting it together. My big thing would be my suggestion would be not necessarily to rush to define roles and fill that out. Somewhat of like a mix between being preemptive and putting them up as there's a need is what I've experienced with other orgs is like, it's great to be preemptive and come up with all of these different roles, but when you don't know what you need and you're still trying to define the direction and come up with those definitions, you really put your back against the wall pretty quick, pretty easily, and it gets pretty chaotic. So I think you guys are definitely on the right track and taking it at a good pace, putting this all together.
That was our kind of philosophy, I think, that it's difficult when to start from an empty slate becomes quite difficult. It's easier if there's the rudiments of a structure there in the first place. But at the same time, trying to really drill down into roles isn't really very possible because, there's lots of needs and some of them are bigger than others and some of them take greater priority at different times. And it's possible that, the higher level roles might come and go as needs them change over the course of the 10 weeks. So we don't really want to make it too rigid, but we just want to have a little bit of a structure, and the structure that Britt has created in the Notion to actually get us organised is just amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a good compromise between setting some structure so we have something to build around and like something to template from, and having space for other roles, because I think you're absolutely right, Coach. We're definitely going to see things come up that we didn't anticipate, etc. Any other questions? If there are no more questions right now, we've only got about 7 minutes left, so I want to make sure that we get to the campaigns part of things, which shouldn't take too long, but and then I guess just let me know in the text if there's other agenda items that you want to talk about that we should get in before the end of the hour. But for the campaigns, I pinned a post in the campaigns channel just now, and it's basically Britt's comment on which campaigns we should do this week. So if you go into the pinned messages in the campaign channel, you'll see the top targets are Pull Together, QDAO or KeyDAO. I actually don't know how to say that. Barn Bridge and Shapeshift. Really, the only one I can comment on right now is Shapeshift, and Sushi. But basically, with Shapeshift, they just posted their proposal to use range tokens in their Discord today, and it's actually pretty incredible. In fact, I'm curious if Josh is on here. I don't see him on here. But it's pretty incredible that they just kind of showed up, were interested in using it, and then I chatted with Josh in a private message and talked to him about how they work, and then he went and created this proposal. Like, it's really like, more than a warm lead. It's somebody that came in and is taking the steps, which is amazing. And Shapeshift is like, a legit project. Eric Voorhees is the CEO and the founder, and he's got like over 500K followers on Twitter. They just did this airdrop of, I think, 1 million target addresses. It's kind of interesting because he put the proposal up and there hasn't been like a rush of responses. It's not like the sushi community one. But I would love to get SuperUMANs in there, and not just saying like, hey, yeah, you should do it, but also like kind of helping them understand how it works. I'm also going to bring Kevin in to get his input. But I'm thinking what I would love to do is tomorrow, maybe tomorrow in the morning or tomorrow in the evening, like this time, to start a campaign over there to like basically offer some feedback on the proposal, show some support for it, and then also join the Discord and start answering questions. What do people do? Are people in support of that? Does anyone have a strong opinion about doing it tomorrow morning versus tomorrow evening? First off, would be my first question. I think previously we'd done them in the evening time. Did that seem to work for everyone? If we do like a 24-hour campaign, Deadcoin?
Yeah, I think that works good. It's better at nighttime. It seemed to have more time. The kids go to bed.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I'm going to take your vote as the go forward then. So I would love if we started Shapeshifts tomorrow, and then Poopster I don't think is on here, right? No. And then or the Real Tuna, did you make it on? No. Okay.
Tenzin is here though, and he kind of stepped up and volunteered to do the Barn Bridge one.
Oh yeah.
So I think that could be a good second candidate, and then after that would maybe be like pull together. I think if we do back to back to back, just like a solid 3-day campaign push in different Discord channels, I think that could be really powerful for us this week. And maybe we can sort of consider like, as a community, if you have questions leading up to a specific raid, reach out to one of those 3 SuperUMANs and to try and get some more information, or go check out the lead pipeline as well, and let us know like what questions you have, what you want to see more details on. That way we can all kind of like do our own research leading up to it and then all dive in together, would be my proposal.
Tenzin, can you provide us a little bit of context about Barn Bridge, if you're free to talk? You are still muted. Hey man.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather write something up about it. I don't want to speak on it too much, but I mean, I know them and the team particularly because of when they listed on Bancor, so I have communication with them. I can write something up more or less and then put it up in the lead pipelines. I think that would be better for me.
That's amazing and perfect. So I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for chiming in. And so Britt, you were saying that you thought Pool Together was the other target. I guess I thought Poopster had last said that they wanted some more time, or we were going to wait until the next rotation of something. But did he kind of?
Sorry, for Pool Together, I think you meant the Real Tuna. And yes, I think he was maybe a little bit hesitant on just like jumping forward, but I touched base with Chandler earlier today, and he said that was kind of one of his like top priority ones on the team front. I thought it might be a good opportunity for us to jump in and kind of make our move on the community front as well. And since we already had a SuperUMAN who had like volunteered for that position, I kind of figured that that would be a good opportunity, but maybe not quite as like hot burning as Shapeshift. So
Okay.
definitely in the top 3 for this week, but doesn't have to be number 1, or even number 2 if Tencent kind of like gets things moving a little bit quicker. You can
Okay.
do either or.
Okay. So that means we have Tuesday Shapeshift, Wednesday Barnbridge, Thursday Pool Together, possibly changing that. Does that sound okay?
Is it possible for us to link the leads page or pin the leads page in the campaigns channel, so that way someone who just goes to this channel, they can like readily access that leads page and see what like who the campaign lead is?
Yes. Yes, it is possible. Can somebody paste it in the campaigns page? That
I
would
can
be
do that, yeah. Oh, just
it's
kidding.
Okay, cool.
Are we going to have? Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Are we going to do the? Is somebody going to make the pre-made tweets? I remember when we first campaigned a while back. We did the swim pool party. That somebody had made the tweets, and you could just go there. Everybody could go there and then retweet it. I didn't know if somebody was making the tweets up this time, or if we were just going to do that ourselves.
Sign that man up for the social media team.
That's what I was gonna say. I think in the future we would love to see that as like a task that somebody takes on regularly. This time around, I think it was maybe a little bit too short of notice. But if anybody wanted to take the lead on that, that is a very good idea.
Is that something we'd want to do on a like whoever's running the campaign would take that on? Could potentially do. I have mixed opinion about it just because they're templated. And even when we told people to use the tags as a guide and then put your own text, a lot of people just treated the template without any added text. So yeah, I was of a mixed opinion of that. But yeah, we can chat about this. I do want to wrap up. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, which is Sushi Swap. So that's been a pretty cool ongoing thing. Like Hart and Kevin and I, mostly Hart and Kevin, are talking to Amy from Lightspeed, talking to Maki, and then Hart and I had a call with Adam Cochran, who is the one who proposed this Smog, the dragon from Lord of the Rings proposal, which is something that he was actually proposing could be built on Uma. And so like this conversation is still very much ongoing, and we submitted a summary and also a request to be on the community call on Wednesday. Sushi's going to be doing like a series of calls, I think at the same time every day as their normal community call. I'm waiting for the actual announcement from their admin, but that's still ongoing, and I will be kind of letting SuperUMANs know, like, hey, here's when the call is, or here's a proposal, if you could come add some input, things like that. It's it's ongoing, and B, it's just really fascinating. It's been really fun stuff. So yeah, I'm sure plenty of people would enjoy just staying across it, but I think Wednesday will be the kind of UMA check-in on with their community. Yeah. So with that, I think we've covered most everything we need to on this call. Totally open to hearing anyone else's last comments if we haven't missed a big agenda item or anything. Real Tune, I see that you've hopped on. What were your thoughts about doing Pool Together this week? Chandler was kind of keen too, because I know the UMA team chatted with Pool Together and they seemed keen. But if you can unmute, if you have a minute to chat. I see that you're muted, so maybe not. Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. This has been a really fun call, really well attended. Appreciate